This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now, let's check in and see if CHARLEY-K1GZL is on the frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up in northern New Hampshire near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Oh, yeah. Hi, Jim. Good afternoon. KC9VKV, K1GZL, Clarksville, New Hampshire, 4 air miles east and southeast of the closest part of the Quebec border, and 2.5 air miles directly east of the very northeast tip of Vermont. But up here in the high country of northern New Hampshire, very good copy, and propagation is excellent. It was very good this morning on 40 meters down into northwest of Melbourne, Australia, with BK3 Mike, Ontario. Here's just a couple seconds of Ian.
Hopefully I'll be on 73, BK3MO, QRT.
Okay, that was brief. So everything is fine here. We are expecting a bit of a storm in here late tomorrow, which will be mostly freezing rain and sleet. Storm is going to track too close to us to give us much snow. Although on the back end of it on early Monday morning through Monday evening, we could get a few inches of backlash snow. So, how's everything down there? It's mostly cloudy, about 35 degrees outside right now, and the normal high right now is 17 degrees, so we're way above normal. And we still have in places 23 to 27 inches of snow on the level ground. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Well, it's been raining off and on here for the past 2 days. I'm sure my mag loops are somewhere between here and there frequency-wise. When it's raining, you might as well just, do the best you can, because you never know what it's going to be, because they do detune in adverse weather conditions like rain, snow, and ice. And so you just have to, in a situation like us where we're kind of committed to this time frame, we just have to go ahead and assume that they're doing their part if they can, and we'll be doing our part, Roger. Oh, I wanted to ask you, when last we left, you were expecting 7 more inches of snow, I believe. I'm just curious if that did materialize.
Oh, yeah. That storm produced 10.5 inches. 10.5 inches of snow, so we're up to 115.5 inches. 115.5 inches for the season so far. As far as the whole season goes, that's pretty close to normal. We average, for the last 21 years, as I keep record, we average 194 inches a year. We did get it, and it was well plowed out, and I'm very happy about that. It's a 300-foot driveway uphill, to do it by hand. It's a lot of work.
Oh, roger that, Charlie. But now I'm just wondering, I understand that your local community does the clearing of the driveways. Yours is so long, do you have to pay extra for that?
No, negative. We do not. We do not. The town realizes that we do get a tremendous amount of snow up here, so they're trying at all times to help out the people. It does not increase the taxes hardly any, and they plow very, very frequently. And if I need a plow out, all I have to do is get on the phone and they take care of it. I think there's only 2 or 3 communities in New Hampshire that plow driveways. Most of them do not, but most of them also do not get the heavy snow we get up here at 2,030 feet on the Canadian border. Go ahead.
Oh, roger that. Well, it's great that your community adapted to the situation and decided to be of benefit to its local residents. That's great. Unfortunately, a lot of other communities are not so forthcoming as far as services needed. Roger?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Jim, absolutely. But we're blessed on that fact. We're blessed pretty much on that fact. Give you an idea of the snow average. We average more snow here in this part of northern New Hampshire than they do in any of the towns in northern Maine. They don't get as much. They get a few degrees colder, but they do not average as much. As of a few days ago, I believe that Caribou, Maine had just over 70 inches for the season. That's way up in extreme northeastern Maine. And at that time, we had already collected the 115, a little over 115 inches. And Concord, New Hampshire, as of now, has had 27 inches for the season. So we have to keep abreast of it, and this next storm is going to come in too darn close, so there'll be too much warm air loss. But by this time next week, we could be in for a good coastal storm, which would throw backlash right over it. But that's a little bit far away to try to pinpoint it. My output is down a little bit. My SWR is higher. When the temperature gets over 32 degrees, I don't understand why that is, but since it is above freezing at 35 degrees, my SWR is up on this frequency, and my output is down to just 900. Well, normally I can run about 1200 on this frequency when it's cold out, or if it's above freezing, the SWR is not too pleasing up here, and above 200, I can't load this thing at all. What I need is a tuner, and I'm too lazy to get it. After all, I have no room to put a tuner in here. It's crazy, but it's true. Back to you, Jim. I won't hold it too long, but you certainly are putting in a nice signal.
Right. Understand that your local community does the clearing of the driveways. Yours is so long, do you have to pay extra for that?
Thank goodness, no. Hope that came through, Jim. Hey, and look, I'll sign with you on the next one and give you a chance to work a lot of other stations, and we'll catch you on hopefully next week. KC9VKV, K1GZL. Beautiful copy.
Thank you, Charlie, and likewise to you. I'm copying you on both the 7300 and the 990 about equally well. It looks like about 12, 15 over. Now, I had a couple of questions for you. I understand that you're on the hill, and how far is your location from the coast? Just trying to consider that maybe your location towards the ocean might be contributing to all of that snow. And the other thing is you're changing SWR. Do you think that your elements might be coming together and getting longer due to the temperature of the weather or icing?
Well, let me explain this K1GZL. If you draw a straight line, the closest part of the coast would be 100 miles. And that is to the southeast. That is to the southeast. But it's interesting, Jim. The temperature. I don't understand what's going on. If the weather 32 degrees. My SWR is lower, and I get a little more better tuning of the amplifier. But once it gets over 32 degrees, it goes downhill a little bit, and I don't understand why. I do not understand why that happens, but it's temperature dependent. And boy, I'll tell you. This is unusual to get a temperature above freezing this time of year. So right now, the SWR is about 3.5 to 1 up on this frequency. So we're not doing that well with the SWR. But anyway, yeah, the distance from here to the coast is 100 air miles. Well, if storm comes up the coast, if the storm comes up and off the coast, that puts us on the west side of the storm, and that would give us colder air, and of course, when it's cold enough, no. However, comes up and comes right over us or west of us, they're called inside runners. The storm is an inside runner, not off the coast, but inland, and that brings in warm air aloft. And early this morning, it was 28 degrees on Mount Washington, of all things, at 6,288 feet, and 29 degrees, and down 6 to 10 above zero. So that was a temperature inversion. And in that case, the higher up you go, the warmer it gets. And if that warm air persists over us, we're not going to see much snow here until we get on the back side of it. When the wind goes to the west and northwest, then we get the upslope, the orographic upslope condition. That's where we get a lot of our snow. Is a little bit from the south-southwest. A southeast wind coming in from the coast is we get cut off because the mountains southeast of it kill a lot of us. And northwest and a little bit south-southwest, it climbs up and squeezes out the moisture like squeezing out a wet sponge, and that is called uplift. Jim, go ahead.
Roger, Charlie, I was just trying to go around the bend as far as the SDR receivers to give you some kind of a report, but lo and behold, I had two that had bit the dust, and I have had to assign myself to those SDRs. You're doing about 8 over in Atlanta. Milford, I could not really to make good contact with Milford. I'm not sure. I think that's maybe my fault or their fault, but it's not working correctly. And Rochester, I think you're about 15 over in Rochester, Roger.
15 over in Rochester, Roger.
Okay, well, that's interesting. That is interesting indeed, Jim. On those SDRs, it's great that you can do that. Gives you a lot of diversity in trying to determine what the angle of radiation is and what conditions are favoring what area. It gives you a good scope on what is happening. Well, Jim, this is always a pleasure, and I'll try to catch you next week there. And as always, I hope you have a good week. I hope you have a very good week there, and your health is good. And here we are, 2020. Gadzooks, boy, I remember being in the first grade in 1938. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Thanks so much for being with us this morning and this afternoon, and keeping us informed about our comings and goings, transmit-wise, and also weather-wise. We do appreciate that very much. So you have a great rest of the afternoon and a splendid weekend, Roger.
Roger, and Mike, if you're listening, I'll call you down around 50. 73, Jim, always a pleasure. K1GZL, we are clear.
Roger, Charlie, 3 is that way, sir, and we certainly appreciate your efforts. And this is just a reminder, this is the Friday Afternoon Qso-Vlog Network. My name is Jim, KC9VKV, and I'm better known in some circles as Dr. VKV. And we are now recording live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, and that will take you to our Qso-Vlog page. And on that page, you'll be looking for one Qso-Vlog entitled My Group Air Check 12420. That's today's date. My group air check 12420. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout.